Salvete discipuli, and welcome to our lesson on Latin adjectives, adding interest to our sentences since 753 BC. We all know that adjectives describe nouns. Ancient Rome, for example, the evil king, loyal servants, victorious gladiator, and powerful horses. Think how dull those words would be without the adjectives. We also know that Latin is an inflected language, so how will that affect adjectives? Adjectives will use inflections in the same way that nouns use inflections to indicate number, case, and gender. This might sound complicated, but it's really not, because an adjective uses the same gender, number, and case as its noun. This is an important idea to focus on. If the noun and the adjective are from the same declension, they will have the exact same ending. Let's look at some examples to make this idea really clear to us. Pay attention to the sentence, "The slaves were loyal to the good master." Notice that both slaves, servi, and loyal, fidi, end with the letter I. That means that I know that fidi, the adjective, loyal, is describing servi, the noun. Now let's focus on domino, master. Notice that the adjective bono, good, has the same ending as domino. This is how I know that they belong together. Now let's look at the next sentence. The queen will be angry on account of the lost book. Angry describes queen. See how they both end with the letter A? Lost describes the word book. See how they both end with UM? Not only does it tell me that they belong to the same declension, but it's also how I'll be able to recognize which adjective describes which noun when I'm reading a Latin sentence. Now let's look at our third example. The dogs of the beautiful goddess Diana are quick. Notice how dogs, canes, and quick, agiles, both end with the letters ES. This is how I am able to tell that they belong together. Now let's look at the noun goddess. See how it ends with AE? So does the adjective pulchri. I know they belong together because of that same ending. So to reiterate, if the noun and the adjective belong to the same declension, the endings on both will look the same. But how do you determine the declension of an adjective? Let's look at these examples, and I want you to see if you can determine a method for distinguishing between first and second declension adjectives and third declension adjectives. Here are the first and second declension adjectives. Pay attention to what they look like and how you might decide that you know you're looking at first and second declension. Bonus aum, laetus aum, malus mala malum, multus aum, altus alta altum, liber libera liberum, miser misera miserum, sacer sacra sacrum, dexter dextra dextrum. Is there something about first and second declension adjectives that you notice would help you to identify an adjective when you saw it on a vocabulary list as belonging to this same group? Now let's begin to look at third declension adjectives. Think about what groups them together and makes them the same. Celer, celeris, celera. Acer, acris, acra. Volucer, volucris, volucra. Omnis, omnis, omne. Brevis, brevis, breve. Gravis, grave. Levis, leve. ferox, ferocis, audax, audacis, sapiens, sapientis, and par, paris. What do you notice about third declension adjectives that make them third declension? What do you notice between the two types of adjectives that make them different from each other? This concludes our first look at Latin adjectives. Class dismissed.